Alrighty, so here we go. First MLS review of 2026 as the first two game of the 2026 MLS regular season has just concluded. We got 11 games that's going to happen later tonight, and then we got two more that's going to happen on Sunday to wrap up the opening weekend of the 2026 MLS regular season. So let's jump straight in by talking about the first game of the season, which is St. Louis versus Charlotte FC. So this game, is kind of something that I'm kind of expecting for a lot of these games in the opening weekend, where I wouldn't be surprised a lot of these games might start off a bit slow and then action kind of picks up because in the beginning I'm pretty sure with this being a new season, teams maybe want to be a little bit more cautious, kind of have a bit of a filling out period. But once that is over, that's when they're kind of back to business, and we're looking to try to score the goals. And that's kind of what happened in this one, where kind of started slow a bit, but once the game got going, yeah, it got really entertaining to watch. Now, in the first half, the first shot of the new season happened when Betcher missed wide from close range. And actually, technically, this is not the first shot of the new season because the flag went up. So that obviously does not count as a shot. And also, I feel like it seems like Apple TV production was in preseason mode itself. There was audio issue throughout this game. I don't know if it got better. I didn't really listen to this whole game. I was watching this one only on my break when I was at work. But yeah, at least early on, I noticed that there were definitely some audio issue that I can find, and hopefully they'll fix that. I mean, at least in this one, I didn't hear any audio issue whatsoever. So I guess in some way, it's the first game of the season. I'll forgive them because of the way that it's is sometimes maybe Apple TV just didn't quite get it right. Betcher would then puts it wide from close in the 10th minute. That actually officially is the first shot of the new season. St. Louis, I thought they controlled the game early and were looking for the opener. The first shot for Charlotte did see Bale try to chip Berkey from the halfway line, but miss high. Imagine if that one went in. Imagine if Pep Biel actually scored that one, and that's the first goal of the new season. I mean, if that is the first goal of the new season, that might be a telltale sign that we're in for a crazy 2026 MLS regular season. The shots were one apiece, 15 minutes in, but possession was still heavily in favor of St. Louis. And this is kind of the thing I think we're going to see St. Louis going for, where they're going to be more of a possession kind of style team. That's kind of the thing that Johan Demate did when he was an assistant under Wilfred Nancy, and that's kind of the style that St. Louis want to do going forward. And unsurprisingly, Charlotte was kind of sitting back a bit because that's kind of the style they like to do, especially when you're the road team. Harto would then hits it right to Kalina before Wallum would puts it into the stands in the 30th minute. In the 32nd minute, the post would deny Tokomani. Wouldn't have counted either way because the flag went up. Before we had Berkey denying Abada from close in the 40th minute. As now all of a sudden both teams was getting some good chances. Again, that feeling up here, it looks like it's over. Both team now tried to get that opener. Durkin tried to do so, but he puts it high before Kalina would deny Durkin in the near post in the first minute of stoppage time. And we do have to have time with the scoreless between both of these teams. In the second half, Kalina would deny Hartel from close. St. Louis definitely started well in the second half as they were pressing to get the opener. Santos would then hits one right to Berkey before Abada would hit one that was actually spilled by Berkey, but he's fortunate the fact that it kind of ran away from goal so it didn't trickle in and was gathered and actually saved that one from going behind for a corner. But then the 60th minute, the first goal of the season happened as Marcel Harto would score the first goal of the 2026 MLS regular season from Betcher and Edelman to give St. Louis a 1-0 lead. And as good as Kalina was in this game, I think he was one of the reasons why Charlotte got a point out of this one. Yeah, this is definitely a moment that he wants to kind of have back. I mean, he did get a hand to this, and this is kind of the thing with Christian Kalina that I said about him last season, where as much as he has these kind of games where he makes some incredible save, there's also times where he does these kind of moments where yeah, this feels like it's a savable one for Kalina, especially the caliber that he is. He just kind of reacted late to that one, and yeah, just like that, it's 1-0 in favor of St. Louis. Petcher did try to make it 2-0, but he just missed one on the outstretched leg. St. Louis definitely had the momentum. They were pressing to try to get the second goal. However, in the 73rd minute, Charlotte would ties the game up as Pep Biel would score from Zaha and Schlegel to tie the game up at one apiece. Boy, did Charlotte miss Pep Biel. I mean, I talked about last season how big of a present he was, and when he went down with that injury, you can clearly see the team isn't the same, and that feels like they are very happy to see their DP4 uh, back. But at the same time, who in the world was marking Pep Biel out there in the back post? Like that was just way too easy there from Pep Biel to kind of run down in that little channel and puts it into the back and net. Just woeful defending there for St. Louis. But yeah, the game was tied up at one apiece. Harto did look to respond, but he hits it right to Kalina. And then the post would deny Santos from the free kick as well. I thought it was a good response for St. Louis, but again, it feels like in this game that we're kind of getting a little blue ball a little bit when it comes to finishing because yeah, they miss a lot of big chances in this one, and also Kalina was on his game. But they were pressing to try to get the lead back. Kalina would deny Betcher from close in the 81st minute before McSorley was in on goal here, but he was absolutely rocked by Kalina here, and that is one that McSorley would want to have back. I mean, he was 1v1. I mean, I know Kalina is one of the better goalkeeper in terms of 1v1 situation, but that should have been 2-1 in favor of St. Louis. And again, besides that one that he conceded that probably he will want to have back, he seems like he's kind of redeeming himself too because he's been lights out in this game and really was one of the big reasons to try to preserve at least a point for Charlotte. Toy Sherwood then hits the side netting in the 6 minute of stoppage time, but in the end, Charlotte does get that roll point in this one, and a hard fought roll point as well because yeah, for St. Louis, they'll be very disappointed that they draw points in this one. It was a 1-1 draw in this one. The shots in this one, 22 shots committed, 9 that Charlotte has. 3 shots on goal committed, 11 that St. Louis had. So a monster game for Kalina. I mean, besides that one goal that he probably should want to have back, I mean, he made 10 save in this one. 6 shots off target with a 4 that Charlotte has. Only one shot that was blocked for both of these teams. So yeah, there was a lot of shots in this game. It was a very entertaining game, and possession-wise, 52% possession compared to the 48% possession that Charlotte has in this one. And as much as again, I know I say St. Louis, coming into this game against a Charlotte team that is not going to be an easy team to play, I think maybe they'll be happy to walk away with a point, but knowing how they play in this one and that there are definitely some promises that if they can get that goal scored on this team, which is still a big issue I said in the season preview about this team, then I think this team can definitely get themselves sneakily into the playoff conversation. But until they do get that kind of player, yeah, this is kind of where they're going to be. It's going to be a very frustrating kind of day where no matter what they do in terms of trying to put the ball into the back net, they just don't have that goal scoring finishing that I'm pretty sure Corey Ray will definitely be looking hard maybe for the remaining of this transfer window and maybe even in the summer to get that player to really elevate the St. Louis side even further. Now, moving on into the next match is Cincinnati versus Atlanta. So Cincinnati, of course, getting the first win of the 2026 MLS regular season, but it comes in a big price. In the first half, the first shot of the game did see Salatano deny Lobjanidze from the corner before Almiron hits it right to Salatano. I thought it was a great start for Atlanta in this one. And again, I talk about the new head coach, who's and sometimes that could be a thing we see with teams getting a new head coach boost that you can clearly see that this Atlanta team looked like they're energized. It feels like that huge monkey off their back of a disastrous season that they had last year is kind of in the rearview mirror, and this is what happened when you have a fresh new start. It feels like the players are for once very motivated and also trying to play to impress their new and former boss Tata Martino in this one. And then in 11 minute or in the 13 minute, I'm sorry. This is where I said that this win by Cincinnati might have come with a big price to pay because Evander had to be subbed off in this one as Valenzuela replaced him. Apparently, they said on the broadcast that it seems like it's a hamstring injury, and we'll see how many weeks that's gonna keep out of him. And I think that might be also kind of a sigh of relief, at least if you're a Cincinnati fan or even Pat Nolan, because originally when that injury happened, it was a non-contact injury, and when we always talk about non-contact injury, you just basically are holding your breath that it's not the A word that might happen because if it is the A word, yeah, that is going to absolutely wreck Cincinnati season because of the presence that Evander brings to this team. Hagelin then hits it high as that was the first shot for Cincinnati in the 20th minute. And for a slow start, I thought Cincinnati started to take control of this game, but the shots were only 3-1 30 minutes in. Again, this just like this one, it took a while for this game to get going as both of these teams trying to get themselves back to match fitness, especially for Atlanta United that is playing their first game, and Cincinnati has already got a game of competitiveness off their belt from their game against OM in the Dominican Republic in the CCC. There was a shout for a penalty for Cincinnati. Not only wasn't given, but it wouldn't have mattered because the flag went up for offside, but we do head to halftime scoreless between both of these teams. In the second half, there was a scramble in the Atlanta box, and then there was a shout for a penalty during that same sequence as well. They did kind of look at VAR for a bit to see whether or not indeed there was a foul, but apparently they say play on in that part. Cincinnati, I thought they definitely started well coming out of the half. They were pushing to try to get the opener, and they should have got it in the 55th minute. Kevin Danke was in on goal there. You would literally bet your house he would bury that one, and you would have lost that house because he struck the post in that moment. So yeah, Danke, no doubt he would want to have that one back and probably don't want to look back at that because yeah, 9 out of 10 times Danke would bury that one. And maybe another example of it is the early part of the season, guys. Maybe it takes a while not only to get themselves back to match fitness, but also back to their match sharpness as well. And Danke maybe was a little off in this one. The good news is he would eventually open the goal scoring in this one as well. Spoiler alert, that is. But Atlanta got left off the hook there. I mean, it was a brutal turnover there on Atlanta perspective, and they got away with it because Danke wasn't able to bury that one. Lobjanidze was then in on goal himself, but he missed wide there. Wouldn't have mattered because the flag went up in the 58th minute. Celentano then denied Almiron from close, and you just kind of have a sense the opener is not that far from now. It just feels like this game seems like there's going to be a goal in it with both of these teams pressing for the opener. Robinson tried to do so. In fact, I'm kind of surprised it was Robinson the one that actually gets to this one. I mean, he basically rounds the keeper like a number 9, and yeah, he maybe was being a little too casual in terms of it, because he didn't really get a hold of all of that, and he was blocked off the line as well. Nchike then hits it high on the volley in the 69th minute. The shots were 7-6 for Cincinnati. They're getting some really dangerous chances in this one, but the question is, can they finally bury one? They finally did in the 80th minute, as Kevin Denke would make amends of his bad miss that he had earlier from Echenike and Giddy to give Cincinnati a 1-0 lead. It was a pretty classy finish there from Denke, and maybe even I would say a savage finish from Denke as well, because he basically took his time, almost fake making some fake move and almost kind of putting Hoyos at his mercy there, trying to save that one, but instead he put Sid Slot into him, and yeah, Cincinnati finally got that much needed breakthrough. Latte Lab then had a chance on the other end. He hits one that was actually clear off the line. Wouldn't have counted either way because the flag went up in this moment. But I thought that was a warning shot for Cincinnati. And to be fair, that was not offside by a whole lot. I mean, in fact, I feel like that would have been very tight. Might be even tight enough where they might even look back at it on VAR if that ball didn't get clear off the line there, because yeah, for Cincinnati they still need to see this one out, and they did in the 90th minute, because they would make it 2-0 in this one. I thought this was going to be another typical Pat Nolan one goal special that we always see him do with Cincinnati, but no, instead in the 90th minute it kind of ruined that, because Nick Haglund would score here from Ramirez to make it 2-0 in favor of Cincinnati. So great moment there for the new signing Brian Ramirez getting his debut assist, but even a special moment for Hagelin as well. I mean, with all the injuries that he's been battling to get back to match fitness, this has to feel good for him as well, especially as a hometown hero of this team as well. Latte Lab then looked to try to answer, but he hits it high in the first man of stoppage time, which kind of continues the theme of him continue to be snake bin even in the beginning of this season. But yeah, in the end, Cincinnati does get the 2-0 wins. The shots in this one very even. 9 shots for both of these teams. 3 shots on goal for both of these teams. 2 shots off target with a 3 that Atlanta has. Both teams had 3 shots that was blocked, and possession wise, 55% possession compared to 45% possession that Atlanta has in this game. So the good news is, Cincinnati, of course, gets the win in this one, but again, the health of Evander, they hope that it's not a serious hamstring injury that maybe will keep him out for these next couple of weeks, because remember, if they do, of course, get by O&M, their next opponent that they might have to face, I believe it's Tigres, that is. They do not have Evander for Tigres. Oh boy, that's gonna be a mountain to climb, even when they, of course, you have him there. And for Atlanta, I think if you're Atlanta, I know they lost this game, but there's got to be some positive you got to take out of this if you're an Atlanta United fan, and especially they did got themselves in some good spot as well. Now, when it comes to finishing it, those chances, I think that's kind of the next thing they need to do, and that's probably something that Tata Martino would definitely work on his players, because they had their chances in this one. They had some good moments to put the ball into the back net, and have they actually did it, maybe this game would have been a whole lot different. But I definitely think that there is definitely some progress we're seeing with this Atlanta team, where this is not going to be a bad Atlanta team like what we saw last season. It feels like this Atlanta team has been rejuvenated, and again, this is what could happen when you have a new head coach, or in the case of them, kind of an old head coach that kind of speared all the success that this team has had, and also the fact that it is a brand new season. You pretty much are starting from fresh slate. You don't have to worry about what happened last season of a bad season. That's all in the past, and let's see whether or not if this Atlanta team can keep this up as the season goes along. But there you have it. That is pretty much it when it comes to the first two game of the 2026 MLS regular season. Again, we got 11 games that's going to happen a little later tonight, and then we of course will have the two Sunday game. What I'll probably do with the rest of the review is that I'm going to do the review for the Sunday game tomorrow, and then I might just think about doing a huge review on Monday, where I'm going to look at the 11 games that happen on Saturday. I usually don't like to do a big review because that means the video is relatively long, but I feel like it's kind of necessary, especially of how the games are breaking up. I'm probably not going to break the 11 games that we're going to see on Saturday night into two parts. Even though I feel like that review is probably going to be at least an hour long. That is, which if that's the case, grab your popcorn because get ready for me to once again talk about MLS action. And that, did I say that? I'm very excited that the MLS regular season is back. I mean, I'm so pumped for it. Even if that means that there's going to be some frustration that I might see, especially from my team and one specific team that I already talked about. But I'm just so excited that MLS is back, and we got more games that's gonna happen tonight. Hopefully, more goals as well. I mean, not saying that there wasn't goals in both of these games, but I definitely want to see more crazy action, and we have seen some crazy games in the opening weekend as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we might see one or two of them as we get into the busy Saturday night action that will start in just a bit. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure to leave a like, smash the subscribe button, and yeah, I of course will see you guys next time.